Pawn Stars isn't just a show about buying and selling things. It's also a behind-the-scenes look at America's hidden treasures. From shiny old coins to relics that whisper stories of bygone eras, the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop in Las Vegas has been the center of interesting deals since 1989. This isn't your average pawn shop, mind you. Rick Harrison and his eclectic team bring items that many would overlook to life, revealing layers of history with every turn. Today we're going to look more closely at one of the most interesting parts of the show, the jaw-dropping, record-breaking deals. What could be so valuable that it leaves even the most experienced pawnbrokers speechless? Stay tuned as we reveal the stories behind these epic buys and see what makes them the crown jewels of the Pawn Star saga. It all began in a small pawn shop in the middle of Las Vegas, where regular people used to trade in their unwanted items. Imagine that same shop going global and becoming a TV phenomenon, with viewers gasping at unbelievable deals and rubbing their eyes over scandals that make the news. This isn't your average store, it's the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, where a family's hustle met a stroke of TV magic over the years. Rick Harrison and his crew turned simple negotiations into high-stakes drama, mixing history with a dash of humor and a sprinkle of surprise. Every item that came through their door had a story behind it, and every deal was a risk that could make or break their business. Before the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop became famous around the world, Richard "Old Man" Harrison and his son Rick Harrison were small-town kids in Virginia. Richard Harrison learned early on how important it was to work hard. After being in the Navy, he tried his hand at a number of businesses before opening his own. In contrast, Rick Harrison grew up seeing his father work hard to make ends meet. Rick was always interested in business, from selling fake IDs in high school to eventually creating his own idea of what a pawn shop could be. His teenage years shaped him into a smart businessman with a passion for rare items and historical treasures. Before the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop became a worldwide TV hit, it was just a family business where he learned how to run a business. Rick Harrison grew up in a small pawn shop in Las Vegas. His father, who everyone called Old Man, taught him early on how to find hidden treasures among everyday items. Young Rick learned how to negotiate before he even knew how to tie his shoes. When they opened the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop in 1989, it wasn't a lucky break that gave them the idea. It was years of hard work and determination to make a living in the city of endless opportunities. They know that one day the shop will be famous all over the world. From that small, unassuming shop in Las Vegas, the Harrisons started turning normal transactions into something extraordinary, turning rare artifacts into high-stakes deals that would interest history buffs and reality TV fans alike. But before all the scandals and record-breaking purchases, it all began with a father's hard work and a son's drive. Not long after Rick's son Corey joined the business at the age of 9. Corey was already cleaning jewelry and taking in all of the information. He wasn't just a kid behind the counter, he was part of a tradition. Working with him was his best friend Chumley, whose natural charm and quirky sense of humor would later become a trademark of the show. Before Pawn Stars took over the world, the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop had already caught a few people's attention in 2001. The shop was the subject of a PBS documentary that showed a side of Las Vegas that few had seen before. Everyday objects were full of history, and each one had a story waiting to be told. It was a quiet look at a business steeped in tradition, where the rhythm of daily life was marked by the clink of coins and the lively banter of customers and staff alike. A couple of years later, in 2003, the shop made another splash when it was featured on Comedy Central's Insomniac with Dave Attell. AL's show was known for its strange humor and edgy take on life, and his visit to the pawn shop showed. Another part of its appeal was that viewers were introduced to a place that wasn't just for buying and selling things. It was a treasure trove of strange and sometimes hilarious items. This appearance gave viewers a look into the daily grind of a pawn shop, where experts looked at every trinket and every deal was a mini adventure. The episode hinted at the possibility for a deeper, more dramatic story that could turn everyday transactions into moments of intrigue and humor. While these early appearances were exciting on their own, Rick Harrison had a much bigger dream. As a child, he learned everything he knew from his father and realized that behind every object was a rich, untold story. Rick thought that if these everyday moments and high-stakes negotiations were caught on camera, they could change not only the shop but also how people saw history and business. For years, he pitched his idea of a reality show that combined history and the art of the deal to different networks, even when executives said no. People didn't think anyone would want to watch a show about a pawn shop, but Rick didn't give up. He was sure that the shop's real charm and the interesting people who worked there could win people over. Finally, in 2009, Rick's hard work paid off. The History Channel, which was looking to add more than just historical documentaries, picked up Rick's show, and Pawn Stars was born. The small gold and silver pawn shop became a Hollywood star overnight. As a result of a few short TV appearances, Pawn Stars quickly became a worldwide hit. It turned everyday deals into epic stories of risk, reward, and hidden history. The show's premiere on July 19, 2009, made it the History Channel's highest-rated show. Almost overnight, a small pawn shop on the outskirts of Las Vegas became the talk of the town, and its story spread all over the world. What made the show stand out was its perfect blend of the shop was full of history, hustle, and personality, and every item had a story behind it. Every deal was like a mini adventure, with Rick Harrison leading the way with his sharp negotiating skills, and the old man giving a straightforward dose of wisdom that could only come from years of experience. Corey, who grew up in the shop, mixed youthful enthusiasm with a growing knack for the trade, and Chumley added an unexpectedly lighthearted charm that made people laugh and cringe at the same time. That was the magic of Pawn Stars. Viewers saw real behind-the-scenes haggling, in-depth expert appraisals, and shocking revelations about the past. The show turned a small family business into a major tourist attraction. Fans started flocking to the gold and silver pawn shop to see their favorite stars in action and to get a look at rare items with fast-paced, interesting histories. In short, Pawn Stars became famous for its honest, down-to-earth look at the art of the deal. It changed everyday life. Even in the most unexpected places, history can be found through transactions. But things weren't always this easy. In 2009, long before the show became famous, the gold and silver pawn shop already had its share of drama. One event that is still talked about is the stolen diamond earrings episode. In one of the early episodes, Rick Harrison bought a beautiful pair of diamond earrings, thinking he had found a great deal. It looked like a win-win situation. Soon enough, it was revealed that the earrings had been stolen. This discovery was a bitter pill to swallow. Not only did it make Rick and his team look bad in front of the cameras, but it also showed a big risk in the pawn business. The risk of dealing with expensive items without double-checking their history. This scandal sent shockwaves through the team and served as an early wake-up call about how important it is to do proper verification. It showed everyone that even the most dazzling item could be stolen. In many ways, that episode set the tone for the rest of the show. It wasn't just about buying and selling, it was a real-life lesson in trust, caution, and the unpredictable nature of treasure hunting. That mix of glamour, risk, and honest mistakes is exactly what has kept viewers hooked ever since. But here's something else that might make you wonder even more. While we were busy talking about how great the deals were at the counter, Harrison family was quietly dealing with its own problems. What secrets and surprises were hidden behind those familiar smiles? We'll get back to this in a moment. As Pawn Stars' popularity grew, the items that came in started to change a lot. How could a place that was once known for making mistakes continue to grow into a global brand known for unbelievable deals? In the beginning, most sellers brought in everyday items and oddities, but as word spread millions of people watched the show, and they started to realize that the gold and silver pawn shop was a place where history could be unearthed. They came with rarer, more expensive treasures. As the show became more popular, the shop's reputation changed from a normal pawn shop to a treasure chest for collectors and history buffs alike. Sellers started bringing in one-of-a-kind antiques, coins, and historical artifacts with hidden stories and impressive price tags. Acquisitions quickly became the show's signature, attracting viewers who wanted to see the thrill of a gamble on history. The change from early scandals to these epic deals was a turning point that set the stage for a record-breaking timeline of purchases that would define the show's legacy. With the show's sudden fame, one can't help but wonder, could the Harrison family really have avoided family arguments while riding the wave of success? It's hard not to be curious. People were talking about what might have been said behind closed doors. Did long-held grudges or hidden tensions come to the surface as the fame grew? As it did, arguments over trust and money started to come to the surface, along with legal battles and family feuds that were just as interesting to watch as the high-stakes negotiations on screen. These internal conflicts turned the Harrisons' personal lives into a complicated puzzle, leaving us wondering how such close family ties could be strained by the pressure of fame. Fame and fortune caused arguments about money and trust, which led to court cases and family fights that were just as interesting to watch as the high-stakes negotiations on screen. These internal conflicts turned the Harrisons' personal lives into a complicated puzzle, leaving us wondering how such close-knit family ties could be strained by fame and fortune. Recent scandals and controversies in this close-knit family have shown that fame doesn't protect anyone from trouble, especially in the family. Pawn Stars is a family-run business. Let's take a closer look at 3 major events that have rocked the show since 2016. In March 2016, the normalcy of pawn shop life was shattered when police executed a search warrant at Chumley's home as part of an investigation into a larger sexual assault case. They found drugs and several firearms inside his home. Reports say they found drugs like crystal meth and marijuana, as well as a small arsenal of weapons. This discovery led to it turned Swift Chumley's off-screen life into a big scandal in the fallout. He was charged with drug and weapon possession, which could have ended his TV career, but he avoided jail by taking a plea deal. As part of the deal, he was put on probation and had to go to counseling. This allowed him to stay with the Pawn Stars family while taking responsibility for his actions. The Harrison family's problems don't just happen off-screen. In February 2022, Joanne Harrison, Rick Harrison's mother, sued him, saying that she was entitled to a large share of the family business and that Rick had not been honest about the finances after her husband's death. According to the suit, she was also not receiving the monthly payments she thought were hers. This legal action was a bad taste for a family known for its close ties. The lawsuit not only made them look bad, but it also caused a lot of tension within the family. Pawn Stars showed that even in the close-knit world of the show, deep-seated problems and disagreements can arise. It showed a family struggling to balance personal relationships with the needs of a multi-million-dollar business. And it reminded viewers that behind every smooth negotiation on camera, there can be very real, very human disagreements. In September 2023, Corey Harrison, one of the show's main characters, got into trouble again when he was pulled over for swerving. When the police approached him, Corey said he had only had one drink a few hours before the stop, but things quickly got worse. The police ran a blood test which confirmed that he had been impaired because the breathalyzer test was reportedly not working right. Corey was briefly detained before being released, but the incident shocked both the cast and the fans. It was a stark reminder that even those kinds of mistakes can have serious consequences. People who look perfect on camera can have very hard times in real life. The DUI incident not only added to the list of public mishaps for the Pawn Star, but it also showed how hard it is to live in the spotlight. This accident shows a simple truth. The road to success isn't always smooth, and even the brightest stars can have rough patches. But now things start to get really interesting. Despite all those early setbacks, something unexpected started to take shape as the team learned from each mistake. They improved their methods and started getting not only regular deals, but also rare, high-stakes treasures that made people take notice. As their reputation grew, the pawn shop's story took a dramatic turn. Normal transactions slowly gave way to jaw-dropping, record-breaking acquisitions that made everyone wonder how they did it. Let's look at how Pawn Stars started breaking records with its high-dollar purchases, which marked a dramatic shift from regular deals to truly record-breaking acquisitions in the beginning of the show. Just as it was starting to become popular, the team shocked everyone with deals that went beyond what you'd expect from a normal pawn shop. For example, in one amazing episode from the first season, the team bought a rare 19155 Panama Pacific octagonal gold coin for an unbelievable $70,000. This purchase wasn't just big, it broke all expectations and made people wonder what other treasures might be hidden behind the shop's counter. It set a new standard. The shop wasn't just about everyday deals, it was also a way to own a piece of history. As the show's popularity grew, so did the stakes. As the show's peak years approached, deals got even riskier and more expensive. At this point, the shop's reputation had brought in sellers with truly unique items. One major turning point in his career was when he bought a 1932 Lincoln Roadster, a rare vintage car that made a statement locally and made headlines across the country. Worldwide, in another unforgettable moment, the team sealed a deal for JFK's cigar box, a piece tied to presidential lore that went for an eye-popping $125,000. These purchases not only reinforced the show's growing mystique, but also signaled that the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop was operating on a completely different level, a place where history and high stakes met head-on in the most recent chapters of Pawn Stars. The stakes have reached new heights, and the deals have become nothing short of astronomical. One standout moment came in late 2023 when the team negotiated the purchase of an incredibly rare piece of sports memorabilia, a genuine Super Bowl ring that was steeped in history. This wasn't just any ring. It had been worn by a key player during a legendary comeback, and experts valued it at over $100,000. The negotiation was tense and full of drama as Rick meticulously verified the ring's authenticity by comparing it to similar rare items and consulting renowned memorabilia experts. What made this deal so unique was not only its hefty price tag, but also it's a symbol of victory and a piece of sports history that not many people could ever imagine owning. In December 2023, the team broke another record when they bought a rare limited edition trophy from a historic championship game. It was valued at nearly $200,000 and had been hidden away for decades until its significance was finally realized. The item's historical value, perfect condition, and extensive documentation of its provenance made it stand out from other pawn shop finds. Negotiations were tense because the seller wanted a price that seemed almost impossible to reach. However, Rick and his team used their extensive knowledge of historical artifacts to secure a deal that not only honored the trophy's legacy, but also pushed the limits of what was possible on the show. These two recent deals show how far Pawn Stars has come, from trading everyday items to high-stakes deals that make us gasp. Benchmark for the show, showing that even a small pawn shop on the outskirts of Las Vegas can find amazing things. Now for the interesting part. With each new transaction, we're left wondering what hidden artifact will come up next. Could it be another piece of history waiting to be rediscovered? The future of Pawn Stars is both unpredictable and exciting, which makes us hope that the next turn in this journey will be just as unforgettable.